Hello, I'm Andrew Breidenbaugh from the Tampa Hillsborough County Public Library, and you're watching Tampa Bay Community Network.
Hi, I'm Bill Hodges, and this is Spotlight on Government, and I have Andrew Breidenbaugh with me today. Andrew is the brand new director of the Hillsborough County Library Cooperative. I love your facilities.
Thanks, Bill. I'm glad to be here.
And I really enjoyed Joe. He was a great director, and I'm getting really good things from your staff about the way you're doing things.
Thank you.
How long have you been with the Hillsborough County? Did we go out and search for you, or were you already here?
I've been with the library for 18 years. I started out as a librarian at our new Tampa branch library, and I've worked my way through the system doing a whole lot of a different variety of jobs, from building the collection to working with the library's technology. My predecessor, Joe Steins, decided to retire. The library system and the county did a national search, and I ended up, fortunately, being one of the finalists and selected as the candidate.
Well, they certainly had all your job reviews.
They had a good picture of who I was when I walked in the door. Yeah.
Let's drop back a little bit.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about Andrew and what your education is, where you came from, the kind of things you did prior to getting into this type of work, and maybe a little bit about what people might look at if they're thinking about going into library work.
Sure, that sounds great. I actually grew up on a farm, a dairy farm in northern Maryland, and went to college at Towson University and studied history and Asian studies. Continued to graduate school at the University of Maryland, where I studied Middle Eastern history. I had intended to sort of do a research angle with my career, but ended up working very pleasantly for Barnes & Noble for about 5 years, with whom I moved to Florida.
So you got into the book business right away.
I got into the book business early and got the service bug. Working with Barnes & Noble was great experience with customer service and merchandising and watching how customers interacted with the book trade. But my interest in research and service kind of won out, and I completed library school, the Masters of Library Science program at the University of South Florida.
Oh, okay.
And began working immediately for the Tampa campus library at USF, and then with the public library system in '97.
What kind of jobs have you held while you're there?
While there, everything from a branch librarian to I supervised the library's call center for a long time. When I first started with the library 18 years ago, all of the branch libraries had a telephone number that you could call directly.
And I wish they still did. If I have one bone to pick with the Hillsborough library system, it's their telephone system. And by the way, I really love the libraries. That's not a slam on them at all.
Right.
But that's probably one of the biggest problems that I see with it.
The ability to call directly to a branch, although it's a great service, is one that is extremely staff intensive. And we had issues with being able to serve customers who were directly in front of us and on the phone. And as part of an audit by the Florida Tax Watch organization, they recommended that we do a centralized telephone center. I was one of the people that implemented that, and that actually became the county's information call center for a short period of time in the mid-2000s. I've worked with the library's collection, selecting and purchasing materials and developing the collections that we have. I've supervised regions in the system, both the South Tampa region and the South County region as a chief librarian. And most recently, I worked in setting up and training staff on the library's technology, the new technologies that are available in the library.
We want to get into that before we're done, because I'll mention the word Hive. If you've not heard that word, you need to stick around, because that's a very important thing. It's something new that's come down the road.
It's very exciting.
Or at least new to me anyway.
Yeah.
I took my first class in it, but we'll get back to that.
Great.
I heard you mention getting a master's in library science. Is that one of the precursors to going into library work, that like if you're going to be a psychologist, you have to have at least a master's? Is that the same for library?
There's a wide variety of positions within the library, but to be a professional librarian, the entry point to the career is a master's degree in library science. Librarians today aren't just the folks who check out books. Mostly you're going to see librarians today leading libraries, building collections, and doing the professional work and the research that helps customers and that directs the other staff. We have positions now in the library, something new to us that we haven't had in years past, of library technical assistants, and those are the staff that train the public on how to use the technology that we offer in the library, computer training, software training, and how to use all the great technology that we offer. But we do have a variety of positions. But yes, the master's degree is the entry level for a librarian.
Okay, but there are other jobs within the library that do not require a master's degree.
Yes, actually only about a third of the 375 employees of the library system here in Hillsborough County are librarians, master's degree librarians.
So if somebody had an undergraduate degree and were going to be working on the master's, they could come in and apply for one of those other positions.
One of those other positions, and it would gain them valuable experience in the actual functioning of a library before their career started.
And I'm assuming, given that what I'm seeing with libraries, that you don't only have to have a library degree. There's probably a lot of other degrees that are necessary in that whole area, right?
Yeah. My personal background was in history. Most of the people that come to the library profession, in years past, this was the second career for most people. So they come with another career behind them and other training. Today, a lot of the people entering the library profession are right out of college and to graduate school. What we're looking for is any kind of dynamic, creative, assertive thinker that knows how the public is going to interact with technology, how the public is going to interact with information. So it could be anything from public relations, law. We have people from business backgrounds. We're looking for science backgrounds now because we're offering a lot of science classes in the library.
It has changed so much. I remember when I started, I'm a professional speaker and trainer, and when I started developing my programs back 30 years ago, 35 years ago, 1980,
Right.
the library was a lifeline for me.
Right.
And I had to pour through thousands of volumes, literally, looking for information. And if it hadn't been for the information specialists in the library, I'd have been dead in the water.
The library is a lifeline for the community in so many ways now. We have information and research services, but because we offer a large variety of technology training and computer access, a lot of the citizens in our community that don't have broadband access at home or even internet access at home use the library to interact with the rest of the world. One of the major services that we offer now that is kind of a lifeline for our community is what we call e-government. A lot of the ways we interact with our government at all levels, local, state, county, has gone online, and local service centers have closed.
Yes.
Now those people come to the library and interact with those forms and service options to get public assistance, find a job.
I never thought of doing that, but that's certainly a very important task.
That is one of the most important things we do. Yeah, that digital literacy, to be able to do that, and the access to the computers themselves really does quite a lifeline for the community.
Now, you and I, we've kind of, well, at least I've grown up with computers. I got my first one in 1980. It had all of 25K of memory.
Right.
Whoa. But, well, actually, I had a Commodore before that, and I don't know much about that one. My daughter used it. But the fact is, a lot of people don't know how to use a computer. And you have classes there, correct?
We do. Our librarians and library technical assistants offer classes in every single one of our libraries, not just on how to use the computer and how to interact with an online world, how to use social media in order to get ahead in your career, but we also offer a wide variety of what I like to call job and career skill classes. Everything from how to use every aspect of Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access.
And those classes are expensive if you go out to buy them.
They're expensive if you go out to buy them, but you get them free at the library, the program itself, and the classes.
I saw where you also have a subscription to things like Lynda.
We
do. Which is it's a really interesting thing. You go on there, you can find lessons on almost everything.
Yeah.
A lot of people Andrew, our thinking library, well, I already know how to use Google. But that's not right. Yeah. Google is great if you really know, but these people are professionals in finding things.
Google and Wikipedia, I'll be honest, are great starting points when you're looking for information. But that's not the end of the search. One of the things that the library offers is that personal level of instruction and personal level of interaction where professional staff, that librarians will help show the customer what quality information is on the internet. And show them that beyond that Google and Wikipedia search, there are magazine and newspaper articles, there are professional research databases that have a wide variety of quality information in them to take their search. Which you have access to. Which everybody has access to in Hillsborough County with their free library card, both in the library and from home.
It's phenomenal, and I've been using a lot of the services. In fact, in preparation for having you on the air, I wanted to see what it was like to go to one of your classes. So I went, spent an evening at the John Germany Library and a place called the Hive. And if you've not been down there, you really need to go down there. It is a phenomenal place. And let's talk a little bit about the Hive, if you don't mind.
I don't.
Because it's not traditional library. And that's probably one of the battles you have to fight regularly, is on what's traditional library and what isn't.
Right. That is absolutely true. There really isn't one idea within the community of what a library is or should be.
It's true.
So
I go get my John Grisham books.
And where you get your John Grisham books, and where this person comes and does their Facebook profile, and where that person comes and learns a foreign language. So it's a very different concept for many people. Libraries to many people are large collections of books and quiet spaces, but we're also activity centers in the community and places where people can come and learn and create content, not just borrow it.
Which may not all be quiet.
It will not be quiet. We have, it's traditional library. The main part of the library is the quiet space, and if you wanted to have a conversation, you have to go off to a side room. It's completely the opposite nowadays. The main area of the library, the reading room, is a room of activity. It's a room of computer use and conversation and people working together collaboratively. And for that quiet time, you need to go to the side room for quiet room. So it's very different.
The South Shore Library, I saw that you had all these glass rooms off to the side. They're
quiet
not big,
study rooms. Yeah, quiet study rooms.
And that's the reason for it.
Yes. It's just a complete change, a complete reversal. But the Hive, probably the most exciting thing in libraries in a long time. The Hive at John F. Germany is...
Hive is an acronym, right?
No.
It's just the beehive, right?
It's just a beehive because it's an area of collective activity. It's an area of collaboration, and quite simply, the design of the John F. Germany has a hexagonal window design, and the staff played off that concept beautifully. So we're able to use the building's architecture and the idea of this buzz of collective activity. The Hive, quite simply, is a makerspace. So it has various areas set up where people can just work collaboratively. It has a craft work area where people can sew, work with different types of fabric and materials and vinyl. It has an area where we have 3D printing and other kinds of...
That's phenomenal. That 3D printing
is It's amazing. It's amazing and it's fun to watch. We recently participated in our 3D printing with an organization that 3D prints artificial limbs.
I saw that in the paper.
For people who can't afford the full prosthetic when they have an artificial limb. It's something we intend to expand on, but everyone who has a library card can come in and get 4 hours of free 3D printing every week. And
every week?
Every week. And there's other kinds of fabrication equipment there. But the one most exciting thing we have as part of the Hive is a recording studio. You can come down and make a sign. We can do it in vinyl, fabric.
You've got that neat CAD-CAM system.
The CNC machine that will etch. Yeah, we could make that sign for you in vinyl. We could make it in fabric. We could make it in wood or plastic.
Now I have to bring my own wood, plastic, or vinyl, right?
You have to bring your own materials.
Okay.
Yeah. But we could also work in our recording studio, which is part of the Hive, and you could make that sign digitally. The Hive has a complete working recording studio, complete with green screen, cameras, and editing equipment, editing software.
Took one of the classes on green screen with Premiere because I wanted to see how the sessions went. The young man did a lovely job. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we have a lot of talent working in the library. We have great employees. They come from all different backgrounds, and they're bringing their experience to the community of Hillsborough County. One of the really exciting things about the Hive is right now, the Hive is at John F. Germany. Over the next 6 to 8 months, we're rolling out the Hive to about 13 other locations in the county. So you'll be able to experience all those things you experience in the Hive.
Really? Like you'll have the CNC machines and all that moved down there, like South Shore?
Most of them. Some of the equipment that's very more industrial will be at the Hive, but 3D printing, recording studios, sewing machines, and other fabric equipment will be at about 13 different libraries around the county, as well as the specialized software to edit and work with them.
Believe it or not, the very first time that I saw a 3D printer was 1969. It was the Air Force Materials Lab.
Right.
It was classified, and the engineer that was showing it to me said, "You want us to build something? Let us show you how it works." I said, "Sure." So he set it all up. It was a fairly large machine with some kind of polymer in it and lasers. And he starts it going. And I said, "Whoa, how long will it take?" He said, "Come back tomorrow."
And depending on the size of the job, it could take till tomorrow. No, the price of the material and the price of the machine has come down to a point that people can actually afford 3D printing equipment at home in some cases.
Yes, I'm seeing that.
But it's a great program. It's not just a program where people can come and do these things, but they actually get to learn how to do them. And one of the big aspects of the Hive that the library is really participating in is the support for our local entrepreneurial community. We've always offered a variety of reference material and databases and directories for our business community to develop their businesses. Now we're offering those spaces where they can sit and collaboratively work together and also use these features in the Hive to get their business up and running, to make a prototype product, to video and produce their first commercial, or to make product demos for the website.
Yeah, in fact, our Toastmaster Club meets down the Southwest Regional Library. And those people are just so nice. I want to give them a special thank you because every time we need something, they're right there and they take care of it for us. Just wonderful people.
That's great to hear. We have a lot of, like I said, great staff. The one thing, information is everywhere in our culture nowadays. It's not just available at the library, it's available at commercial outlets and Amazon and Barnes & Noble, the news outlets. But the one thing that you really get with the library is that personalized service, and it's with an emphasis on service. A lot of people can do what we're doing elsewhere, but they just don't provide the quality help with trained staff who are focused solely on getting you what you want and not selling it to you.
Andrew, where do we go from here? Just more of the same, or do you see some, as you're looking through your glass at the future, what do you see? Where's the library actually going?
Yeah. One of the biggest trends in libraries right now, there's actually 2 or 3 really large trends in libraries. One of the biggest trends is that changeover in format of the materials. Everyone is familiar with books, with magazines and newspapers, the printed word that you can hold, the physical object. One of the biggest trends is that great proliferation of formats into that digital world. E-books, digital magazines, downloadable and streaming music and movies. All of those things are available at the library, and it's one of those things that's growing. So the book isn't dead. We'll always have books. But right now, the library circulates 10.5 million items a year. 38% of that last year was digital. So we're moving to an era where we're going to have less physical collections on the shelf while having more things available for customers, both online and in the library. So that leaves a lot of space in the library that's no longer taken up by bookshelves. So as part of this changeover in formats, we're not only getting a really robust online library so that your library can be anywhere you are, but we're also changing the face of the interior of our libraries to make less books and more spaces for people to work together, like these Hive type areas.
One of the things you mentioned, I think it's probably one of the drawbacks that I've had. I absolutely love, well, I used to call them books on tape. They're
Sure.
books on discs now.
Audiobooks.
Audiobooks.
Yeah.
I absolutely love them. And if you walk out to my car right now, you'll find 4 of your sets. I thought I was going to have to drive 1,000 miles, but I didn't, so I'm going to take a couple of them back.
Good.
But the fact is, there's never a time that I don't have an audiobook in the car.
Right.
Phyllis and I, my wife, we listen to them constantly. But I would have liked to use the downloadable ones, because I always have my smartphone in my pocket with
Right.
plenty of memory. But the problem was, and I'm not sure it is still, maybe it is, they were only good for like 2 weeks or something, and then they dropped off. And with us, we never know. We might need
Right.
it for a month. You know, it's back and forth.
Right. The way that we lend electronic books and magazines and electronic audio to customers is very much the same way as a book.
Okay.
It has a checkout period because when we purchase it for use, we still purchase individual copies of it.
Okay.
With our primary delivery for audiobooks, it's a product called Overdrive.
Yes,
You get
yes.
to choose
Yes.
when you select whether you want it for 1, 2, or 3 weeks.
Right.
At the end of that time, it does stop working.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Where'd you go?
The great thing about that is no more late fees.
That's true. You're absolutely. There's always an upside, right?
There's no
You're
late
looking for it.
fees. But you can check it out again if no one else is waiting, or you can get back on the list.
But you have to check it out again.
You have to check it out
which
again.
means I've got to go back
Right.
and find where I was and that sort of thing.
Yes, you have to find where it was where you left off.
So you can't call a week and say, I need this again, and
No.
it just extends. It's
No.
got to start over.
Yeah, we have to start over, and
I
most
assume
of those.
that's in part of your rental contracts
It
or
is.
something, correct?
Yeah, I was gonna, almost all of those restrictions that we have on how we handle ebooks and digital audiobooks is based on our agreements with publishers. Their primary business, although we like to think it's the library, their primary business
Making money.
is selling books to the public and selling audiobooks.
That's true.
And while bookstores are disappearing across the American landscape, libraries are not. More libraries are
hope
being
not.
built every day. There's more libraries in America than there are McDonald's restaurants. Some
I didn't
shock.
realize
Yeah,
that,
there
yeah.
are more libraries in America than McDonald's restaurants. So we're everywhere, and there's more every day. So we have become the showroom for book publishers.
I have to check that on Google.
You can Google that. Actually, you can check that on the American Library Association's
All right.
website
Yeah, but they have a
Yeah.
vested interest.
in factual information.
All right.
But we're actually the showroom now for books, for publishers.
Sure.
So while they are really good at working with us to allow us to lend the product, they do have restrictions on the use. So it's not just an unlimited use for you forever, just like the physical box.
So what else you see coming down the line?
One of the things that's been really exciting for us is the idea that customers nowadays that use the library aren't just coming in to check out something. They're not just coming in to borrow a book or to consume content. Today, a lot of the public wants to create content. They want to write their own ebook, take their own pictures. They want to create their own videos. And while the Hive is part of the recognition of that and the way we help customers do it, we're also exploring ways, and we should see some more information about this in the near future, for helping our local creative community by hosting their ebooks, by hosting their artwork, their music, and their videos. So we'll be not just curating the community's history.
Let's go back over that
Sure.
again. How will you be curating it?
We'll be
If I
hosting
create
it.
an ebook.
If you create an ebook, you have several avenues today to get that out to the world.
Right.
A lot of people
I go to
will
Amazon and
Amazon or Smashwords or one of those to put their ebook up. But for most people that are writing an ebook or creating some kind of digital content, it's more about the process and the artistic creation of it than it is about making money. And there's a lot of people who know that their ebook, their great collection of whatever it is that they're doing, their artwork or music, isn't commercial. So they're not trying to sell it. So what we're going to be doing is hosting that at the library online so that the public can access that
they can
free
have
of
their
charge.
friends, neighbors, and so forth look at it.
They can have their friends and neighbors look them up in the library catalog. And
oh, that's cool.
yeah, we have a robust local author community. And all of our local author community is not what you might say is commercially successful, but the public still wants to participate in what they've created. So we're looking at ways to host that so that you can go to our website or go to the library and find maybe that ebook that one of your neighbors created and read it. So you can participate in that.
I put up, my first book sold 25,000 copies.
That's excellent.
But now I've got it up on Amazon.
Right.
And it sends me a small check every month.
Sure.
Not much, but a little bit.
Right.
Here and back and forth.
Right.
If I was an author and I wanted to put something up on Amazon, do you have classes on that?
We do. They're
How
just
to put up ebooks?
They're just starting out. But we have some classes on how to publish an ebook, how to create it using the software and the right formatting, and how to publish it. Like I said, there's a lot of different places. Amazon is one of the most popular, but there's also some independent publishing platforms like Smashwords, which we work with to help people get their book published.
So if one wanted to take one of these classes, would they have to call the Hive at John, Germany, or just call any of their branches?
Call the
Call
library.
your main number, because that's what you're going to have
Call
to do
the main
in the
number,
first place.
813-273-3652, or you can visit us online at hcplc.org.
And is there a list of classes somewhere?
On the website, there's a separate option just for our events and classes.
Oh, okay.
And you can search that by the location of the class, or the type of class, or the age group, whether it's for children who we're helping to prepare for school, or it's an adult who's trying to get back to work, or someone who's just looking for something fun to do in their spare time.
I absolutely love the library, and I don't know, my wife, I'd hate to have to pay for all the books that she gets on a regular basis. She's a voracious reader, and she goes through a lot of them, and I watch these people go down and buy books, and I wonder, why are you doing this? I mean, you got shelves and shelves of books, and you have to dust them, and I'm not much into dusting.
You know, we've recently put on our website a calculator to let you figure out how much money you save individually every year, or in some cases every month, by using the library. You can go to
it's a bargain for me, even if I have to pay late fees.
Right. You can go to this calculator and fill out the numbers, how many classes you attend, how many books you check out, and it will tell you, if you had to purchase all of that, how much it would have cost. And then we have a convenient link to send you over to your property tax bill, so you can see how much you saved.
Well, Andrew Breidenbaugh, I want to thank you for coming on the show, Executive Director of the Hillsborough County Library Consortium. I want to have you back, because there's a lot of things I'd like to talk to you about as far as the library is concerned. Every time I go down there, I learn something new, so you obviously have got more to tell us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Bill Hodges. This is Spotlight on Government. You're unique, you're special, and you're great. Tell yourself so often, because you are, you know. And I appreciate again, Andrew, you being on the show. We'll look forward to having you back.
I look forward to it as well.
You will come back.
I will come back.
All right.
Yeah.